recording.
All right, I'm gonna call the meeting of the River Plantation MUD Board of Directors to order at 6:30 PM on October 10th. First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the meeting on September 16th. And I think that was the only one, right? The special meeting was the same day, or do we have a special meeting?
We're gonna have one. Yeah.
Okay, so September 16th, okay? I have any comments, corrections? Do I have a motion to approve?
Move we approve minutes.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Comments from the public? Since there's no public here, we're gonna go ahead, okay? Number 3, financial and bookkeeping matters.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. Again, my name is Lauren Clark, filling in for Tiffany. Y'all should all have a bookkeeping report in front of you. From your last meeting, your general operating fund left off at $79,324.97. We did add in one voided refund check that is going to be reissued to a spouse. We made a transfer, or we had a transfer from your general operating online account, processed payroll taxes from your previous meeting and had some bank charges and fees. Under your checks previously approved, we are still holding one check to Entergy. We did issue a check for your utility expense, telephone expense, director fees for year-end 2024, and lawn maintenance. For your approval this evening, we have your director fees for the year-end of 2024, lawn service, your bookkeeping fees and expenses for September, legal fees, election fees, and that refund check that was reissued for the spouse. Below that, we have some blank checks for upcoming invoices, leaving that ending balance at $80,830.72. Onto that next page, we have your general operating online account. Your accounts receivable came in at $63,619.34. We made a transfer to your general operating fund, had some customer returned NSF items, deposit slips, and bank charges and fees. After these disbursements, including your investment account, it leaves your total operating funds at $1,071,846.61.
I have a question.
Yes.
When we get an NSF check, do we charge back the amount to the customer?
That is from your operator, and yes.
Yeah, I think we've
There
had
are
that
penalties.
before. Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, there's penalties.
Yes.
Okay.
So below that is your tax account. Your tax collections came in at $3,053.94. You earned some interest and had some bank charges on this account, leaving it at $70,816.13. That next page, your capital projects fund. We made a transfer from your Texas class account. We had 3 checks for your approval, one for the Holly Springs Storm Sewer Replacement, pay estimate 1, your water plant 2 electrical upgrades, and wastewater treatment facility rehab pay estimate 2. After these disbursements, it leaves your total capital projects funds at $2,215,811.01. Below that, your debt service fund, that account is at $386,566.26. Below that is your debt service park, that account is at $5,402.06. That next page, your sewer treatment plant. You had your accounts receivable from East Plantation was $7,915.85, and the River Plantation was $13,513.27. Under your checks previously approved, we did issue one check to Republic Services for garbage expenses. We had 2 checks for your approval this evening, your bookkeeping fees and expenses for September, and a blank check for garbage expenses, leaving that account at $21,374.74.
Can I just stop you for 1 second?
course.
Just not for you, but for, it's not the garbage expense we're talking about here, it's the dumpster at the wastewater treatment plant.
Okay.
Okay,
I was wondering.
yeah.
'Cause we just talked
We
about
just
that.
had that conversation.
We can change it to say
No,
dumpster.
that's fine, you're
Okay.
fine.
The next page is your joint drainage fund. You had AR from River Plantation for $2,208 and East Plantation for $2,208.12. Your checks previously approved, we are still holding one blank check for Entergy, and we issued a check to All Seasons Lawn for lawn services. For your approval this evening, we had one check for your bookkeeping fees and expenses for September, leaving that account at $106.66. The next few pages are your September P&L. Right now, your maintenance taxes are coming in at $856,140.78. So you have a total income of $1,659,777.14. Below that is all your water, sewer, and other expenses. You are looking at a bit of a deficit, but it's nothing too crazy, nothing to worry about. That next page is your STP September budget, or P&L, sorry. This does not zero this month. It's just how your meeting falls. We didn't have all the bills to zero this account out. That will be zeroed out next month. And the same on the next page with your joint drainage fund. This is not zeroed out just because we did not have all the bills, because of the meeting time. And that is all I have for y'all, unless you have any questions.
And, no, we're good. Davis, you wanna talk about that refund, or can I tell him about that refund, because it'll put us at about.
Oh, sure. I can. I'll just say I know that there was an email that was sent to the board about a refund for Austin's time driving to the meeting that we said that we would.
That wasn't what.
Oh,
I was
go ahead.
talking about.
Go ahead with that.
Oh, the insurance claim.
Yeah, the insurance claim.
Okay.
We'll cover them both for us.
Sure. One, that credit was actually $750, and it was provided on the August bill, and it is the first entry at the top of that bill. So it's on your website in the meeting packet with all the information for anybody who's looking to see. So the other thing is, and Mario may be planning to cover this in his report too, but they're about $50,000 coming back for the well repair insurance claim. So I don't know if that's made it to you yet, Mario. They sent it to us about an hour ago. So
I spoke to the adjuster this morning. He just had
Awesome.
a question about some, but I'll bring it up here in my report.
So that's from
Awesome.
repair from when
The well.
electrical issue
Yeah.
from the ground and everything?
Yeah,
I don't have the exact number, but he did say he was gonna finalize it today, so I
it was
guess
like
they.
49,008 something,
Something like that.
something
Okay.
like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So that'll put
Yep.
us about a $2,000 deficit for the year, which isn't bad.
Good work.
So, okay.
Davis, can you address the other issues on that email so we can get that out in the open?
Sure. The other comment that I saw was about double billing for something, and I'm not aware of any double billing. I mean, I will tell you that we work, in many cases on the same item multiple times, and there may be a document that goes back and forth, or an issue that requires us to, be talking on the phone one day and working on the computer the next. And so some of those entries may look, the same or read the same because they're the same subject matter. But I'm not aware of any work that was billed twice. But if there's a specific concern, I'm more than happy to look at the entries. So.
I also want to point out to everybody that the final tally came in for the election, for the runoff and the election, came in at over 60 grand, our part. So I just want that known to the public because of the runoff and everything, so. Anyway, yeah, so there was 60 grand that we didn't plan on, so, anyway, okay. Okay. Okay, tax assessor collector report, we have, do I have, you wanna do them all at one time, or you wanna do them separately? Make a motion.
I'll do them all at once.
Okay, all right. Tax assessor collector's report then was, I don't remember seeing it, was it in here? Okay, so we'll skip that one then, okay.
She did mention, collected taxes.
Taxes, that's property yeah, property taxes, okay. We got the review of the investments, the payment of the district's bills, we've approved them. So, okay, motion, Motion to approve it?
Move we accept the auditor's report.
no, bookkeepers,
Bookkeeper's report.
bookkeepers report,
Sorry,
okay.
wrong
Do I have a
one.
second?
I second
Okay, all in favor?
it. Aye.
Aye.
All right, violation of district rules, public hearing for violation of district rules and damage to district property, assessment of penalties.
I know Paul's on and very much under the weather. I'm not aware of any violations, and when we communicated earlier this week, my understanding from him is that there's not anything to talk about tonight. So obviously some stuff that's still ongoing. So
Okay,
Paul, are you there?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, David. Sorry, I'm sitting here like sneezing and blowing my nose like crazy. So I apologize. There are finally no violations, although those 2 lawsuits should be on file probably first part of next week.
Okay,
okay, good. Get to
Thank
work
you
on
all.
that. Okay. All right, park maintenance matters. We got anything on that other than you purchased the 2?
Correct. We've got the
Did you
2.
give that lady 2?
yes.
Okay.
I've got them in my vehicle. Mary, is your
Yep.
group gonna be the ones installing it for us?
You just tell me where you want them, we'll have them installed.
Okay.
Okay, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about is, I had a homeowner contact me yesterday griping about poop on the cart paths and on the ground. And I told her that we had purchased 2 of these poop stations and that we were looking for places to install them. And if she had an idea.
Dog waste station.
Waste station. Whatever. Okay.
We all know what it is. And I asked her to give me an idea of where they might need to be installed. And she gave me one location that she particularly notices and she walks every day. And that's at the U-turn behind Raleigh. Okay, where that cart path,
Yep,
you know what I'm talking about?
yeah, down there about
It
where they have
starts
the
by,
trampoline.
it starts by
Oh, yeah.
where we had all the mess with all the
Yeah.
weeds and,
Yep.
and all that.
Mhm.
Okay, she said back there, it's a mess
Okay.
as far as dog waste.
Okay,
And she said there's a black metal stake that used to be like a marker for the golf course.
okay.
And she said that would probably be a good place to put one. Now, I don't know about anywhere else other than maybe we ought to put one over by maybe
I'm thinking between the 2 Braxton
between
Braggs.
Braxton Braggs.
Actually, I would suggest up there by the CIA building where it goes, because that's where people pull their cars in, maybe run in that area.
Yeah, but I usually see the people on the golf carts letting their dogs go to the bathroom, between the 2 Braxton Braggs or between Tara and Shiloh.
And if that's where they're parking, that's not where the dog's
Don't
going
go to
to.
the
They're gonna
bathroom.
walk a little
Well,
bit.
my thought was when they get up and get ready to go, they pick it up and go,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, they're-
But if you're gonna do that, put it down there by where the trash can is.
Yep.
That's between the 2 Braggs.
Well, if we've already got the trash can there, we don't need a waste station.
Yeah,
We have 2, right?
yes. How about between Tara and Shiloh? Well, then they would both be on the same side of the,
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to have one on the other side,
Yeah.
on the north side.
I think, or,
What about where the old bathroom used to be?
I was thinking about that.
I was gonna say
They
there
do-
or on the other side over there, well, but that's on the other side again, so, yeah,
It should probably go where people walk the most.
right.
There's a lot of foot traffic where the old restroom used to be.
There is.
And, yeah, and then back up behind, Raleigh and,
Yeah.
Ravensworth is where I see the most foot traffic.
Okay?
Okay.
Maybe
We try it and if they're popular, then.
Then we
maybe
get
we'll-
another one,
Yeah,
we get some more, yeah,
okay.
okay,
Okay.
okay, cool.
I asked Keith to get us some numbers to fix the cart path over on Silo and on 3, where
Okay.
that tree flipped it up.
Oh, yeah,
And they've got the numbers for us here tonight,
okay,
and I don't think we need to get 3 bids, it's not that big,
okay,
but
okay,
Mario's got the numbers.
Yeah, I got
for
some
us.
quotes for you guys
Okay.
in my report.
okay,
Just hand them out like candy.
okay, and, I got the stuff for the pond, to put in the pond. So we just gotta find a day when it's not 100 degrees outside to go put it out there,
Next
so.
week, it's supposed to be in the 80s.
There you go, so, okay.
Okay,
You got both liquid and tablets, right?
do we need to?
I got the liquids, I have not picked up the
Haven't
tab,
got-
I haven't got the tablets yet.
Okay.
So, I figured they got those at Tractor Supply, so I don't need to get those
Do
yet.
we need to vote on doing that or just let them do it?
What, doing what?
The, fix the
Location.
cart path.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
when he gets his
I'll hand out
report.
my quotes
Oh,
during my
okay.
report.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got the location of the, doggy waste stations.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll grab
Anything
them from
else?
Mr. Mark this evening.
Okay.
What about the benches? Is that gonna be part of Mario?
I have the same quotes that I brought last month, but I got some clarification, so
Okay.
I'll also
Cool.
talk about that.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Anything on park matters, we're good?
We, well, the, we got, all, what's his name? Alpha.
Oh, Alpha's.
Alpha is cutting the grass now, and I think they did an excellent job, the first cut that they did. And, they did it quickly. They didn't take 3 days to do it, and I think it looks really nice. And I've, complimented them on their work, and they're excited to work with us, so
Oh,
Are they cutting along the ditch?
they will be,
Not yet, all
correct.
Are you talking about the concrete ditch?
right. Yes.
yeah, cause All Seasons just did it last month, 2 months ago.
They've
Well,
never done it.
They supposedly did it, that was
Well,
the
yeah.
whole conversation, but,
Yeah.
Mario got with his guys, and they're gonna be able to do it on like a time and materials basis, at least while we work to get somebody done, cause it needs to be
Okay.
done again.
Okay.
So we'll see what that comes in at, and he can get you a tighter price if you need it. And, cause we really need to get it done so that we can finish up our design on the east ditch, because we wanna do one last inspection to make sure nothing new has happened,
Okay,
on it, so.
okay. And Tiffany, in that envelope is a voided All Seasons check, because, oh, Lauren, I'm sorry,
Okay.
Lauren,
I knew
sorry.
what you were talking about, it's
There,
okay.
there's a voided All Seasons check in there.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
And, it's because they billed us for the CIA forced mows, and they also billed us for work that they had already done on one of those other invoices that we asked for. So, that's a voided check. We
Okay.
have another check here that we're gonna, actually, I put the check stub in there, so.
That's perfect.
But, just so y'all know, they billed us for the forced mows for the CIA and double billed us for August mows. So,
Clever.
So we're giving them one last check for the cut that they did September 18th, the day that they got their notification of termination. And so we're paying them for that last cut they did in September.
oh, and they did show up.
They were here at the same
They
time.
did show up yeah, they did show up in
October 1st,
October.
they showed up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were here at the same time. I bet that was a little awkward.
All I can say is that I think the notice was pretty clear that they weren't supposed to do any more work. And we sent it certified mail and by email, and they acknowledged receipt of the email in fairly short order. So we have that in the file, and we communicated with them, further about it. So
Did we ever get the green card?
I haven't seen one. Have you seen one, Austin?
No, I don't believe we got the green card back.
Okay.
It's so funny. Sometimes people think that in not signing for certified mail that it somehow means that they didn't receive notice. We have an email acknowledging receipt of the notice, and we mailed notice as required by the agreement. So
Good.
yeah, so hopefully we will be done, hopefully we're done, so. All right, we don't have anything we gotta vote on for park maintenance, so operators report. All right. Your turn, Mario.
We had these things before. Sir. All right. You're welcome. All right, we'll start with the report first.
Okay.
All right, for this past month here in September, we had connections at 977, 36 vacancies. Revenues totaling at $68,623.32. We have billed consumption at $11,058,000. We have total pumpage $11,274,000. We are at 98% accounted for this month, with 2 leaks repaired. 6 bacteriological samples taken, all came back good. Wastewater treatment plant numbers just below that, everything came in within parameters, no excursions or breaches to report. We did total reuse water at 6.4 million, and if you look underneath that, Tim, we did add the reuse revenue just below that, $1,239.60.
Okay.
Below that, we have our receivables, along with our consumption and our water accountability reports just below that. On to the quotes. So the first quote should be the estimate 1436. This is for the bench installment that we talked about last month. This is just to provide and install the bench.
Okay.
Mhm. The next one, which is in email form, is $800 just to pour the slab. So we're looking at a combined of 1520.
So what's the 724 again?
The 720 is for the provide and install the bench
Oh, it's for the bench and installation.
and installation.
Oh, it's a bench too?
Yes, so he's providing and installing the
So,
bench.
so altogether it's $1,500.
Yes, 1520
Okay.
each.
That's a lot better than 5,000.
Yeah.
A lot better than the.
And is the bench,
We
do we
could
have a
get one to
design for
try
the
it.
bench?
It's the same one that we provided, the black mesh one.
Yeah.
Just the mesh?
Yes.
Correct.
With a back and seat, nothing else? and
Correct.
then-
Yep.
Then it can be bolted down?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, and he has the anchors and U-bolts that they'll use to fasten it down to the concrete.
Right.
So, that's the first quote. Second quote is estimate 1443, and this is for the sidewalk along Shiloh. That one there, I mean, it's in pretty bad shape. We did, I think maybe a year and a half ago, we did the first part of that, the entrance off of the road. So now it'll be the second 2 panels, all the way past the tree, saw cut, re-pour, and get rid of some of those uprooted areas where the tree fell. And the last one is, we haven't had a TCEQ inspection at River Plantation since we've been here, and they are cracking down a bunch. So we had our safety inspector go around, look at our facility, do an analysis. So after the 2 big floods that we had earlier this year, the fence on the right-hand side, all the way down alongside Amy's property, is in really bad shape. So this is a quote to repair basically everything that's fallen over, pick it back up, new barbed wire, fasten everything back up, just to keep it in compliance with DCQ.
Okay.
Now, this doesn't have to be done, I mean, we can wait a few months, but this, I mean, sooner than later.
Okay.
Just, you know,
Is it at the well or at the?
at the wastewater treatment plant.
At this point, somebody could easily walk in. It's
I was gonna
not-
say, it's
not
where
even-
the tree fell over.
Yeah,
took
it's
it out, right?
not, don't think of
Yeah.
it, not to jump in on Mara, but
Yep.
don't think of it as like just kind of a damaged fence. It is
Sure.
actually.
down.
It's laid over.
Down.
So there's a security issue as well?
That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct. That-
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. It's okay, you're training.
On the sidewalk replacement,
Yes, sir.
on line 1, is it Braxton Bragg or Shiloh?
It's Shiloh. So he always, the last quote he gave me was, it said Braxton Bragg as well, but, you know, he
Okay.
looks at the road coming off this way, but it is Shiloh.
Okay.
Yeah, the Shiloh sign's missing, I think.
Yeah. Uh-huh. But I sent him the pin drop and I sent him pictures of exactly where it was, so we're looking at the same one.
It's not bad for a fan.
No, I need to get them to come do my fence. Okay. All right. Do we want to approve for this work to be done?
So we're just gonna get one bid?
We don't need, I mean,
Less than-
it's less than 50,000, so that's all we need.
I think the bid on the bench is fantastic, that's great.
I do too. I mean, I do
don't-
too.
I don't know if the concrete or the fence is a good bid or not.
I
the
think
fence is
it's a very good bid,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a very good bid for a fence. So,
say 14 panels of chain link fence, is that like 10 feet each panel?
Yeah, they're about 8 to 10 feet sections. And it's all chain link. That's really why it's done what it is now. If it was wood, it would be much different. Again, they'll reuse what's salvageable. If anything else, they'll bring in new material, but
Okay.
these are our go-to guys. I mean, if you like more quotes, I can get more quotes, but I don't think anybody's gonna beat this.
I don't think so either.
I don't either.
Got a motion, Bill?
I'll make a motion, we accept the pricing for replacing the fencing or repairing the fencing at the wastewater treatment plant.
Do I have a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, what about the sidewalks and the cart paths?
I'll make a motion that we accept the pricing for repairing and replacing the concrete on the sidewalk at Shiloh and whatever hole number that is,
Section 3.
section 3.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, alright. And at 15:20, I will buy the first bench.
So we need to standardize what that plaque might look
Right.
like, right?
And where we're gonna put them.
Yeah.
And where it might go, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Brass, something that won't
Something that won't get,
deteriorate
Yeah.
in heat and weather.
That's an extra cost too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that would be a little bit more.
yeah, but that'll still be on the person that buys the bench. So,
Where are we gonna put it?
Yeah, it won't be that much.
huh? Well, I know where I wanna put it, but if it's doesn't fall in the thing, I don't know. We gotta figure out. where we're
That's
gonna
right.
put it.
Well, as the first purchaser, you probably get priority on deciding where you want your
Well, we'll
bench to
talk-
go.
We'll figure that out.
Okay?
Okay.
Prime ground.
That's right, prime ground, that's right, so, okay, all right. Shoot, there was something I wanted to say. Oh, one thing I wanted to add, I wanted to make mention of, I don't know if y'all get the copies of their bills or not, but I wanted this made public so that when people wonder what we're spending the money on and stuff like that for the bonds. Mario, was that a sewer line or was it a water line that on the bill was held together with plastic and chicken wire?
That was a water line.
It was a water line. So that's what our current infrastructure is made out of. So, just so people
It
know.
was in bad shape.
Just so
I'll
people-
double down on that. We found a sewer line when we were repairing between two manholes. That was a 4-inch water line.
Oh, as a sewer line.
As a sewer line, so it went 8-inch, 4-inch, back to 8-inch.
Yep.
Can I get pictures of these and
Yeah.
little notes for the newsletter?
Yeah, I'll try to.
We can do this?
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Let's get that going.
Yep.
yeah. So, okay.
It's only the beginning. And then we did have, we were
We're
working
in the
on
middle. We're doing well. Come on, give ourselves a little
We're
credit.
I know,
We're on the top of the hill.
We're making progress.
There you go.
That's right,
Um,
progress.
the
It just
hydrant-
costs money to make progress.
Exactly, a lot of money. The fire hydrant that's been in question for the last year and a half, we went to raise it, turned out the valve didn't work properly.
Okay.
We had to shut the main down, put a new valve in there and a new hydrant. That was done yesterday. So there is an active boil water notice for
Right.
Where is this?
Gettysburg and
Oh, no.
section of Brandon.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
on Roanoke one.
Roanoke, sorry, yes.
Yeah.
So when you put a new hydrant in, wouldn't it have a new valve? You had to put a new valve and a new,
Correct,
so the valve is separate than the new?
it is.
So is it lower down?
There's a valve in between the main line connection and the actual fire hydrant, and then the fire hydrant has a valve on it as well.
Right, that's what I was thinking you were talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Okay.
I
So
can
there's-
show you better than I can explain to you. So this is what it looks like.
Okay, oh, okay.
You got your valve, your two stubs, and then the new hydrant.
So to get to that, you gotta dig it back
I'll
down.
send you this,
Yeah.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
Way down there.
yeah, it was 6.5 feet. So, I'll send you these pictures. But again, the lab, the lab pulled, we need those pictures too.
Before and after would be nice.
The lab pulled bacteriological samples as soon as I have the results.
Okay.
The rescind notices are ready to go, and I'll have them put out, and I'll send them to Ms. Julie so she can publicize it. And we'll go from there. And then we had a small conversation with Tom Touchstone. Sounds like they reached out to our office. I'll
I
confirm.
heard they got it today.
I'll confirm, and if it is, then we're good to go. We can start utilizing them. But so far,
I
good
have
month.
to contact them, well, I'll contact them, tell them who the committee will be, which will be you, Keith, Julie and I.
Correct.
And I'll have that put on our website as well.
Okay, perfect.
And it
Good month.
should be active this week, I would think, maybe. That's a guesstimate though.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, okay. Motion to accept the operator's report.
I make a motion that we accept the operator's report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, engineer's report.
Alrighty, under the permit section, that only thing to note, that stormwater quality management plan is underway for you guys, with Stormwater Solutions. They've got about 180 days to get that together and submit it, and we'll give you updates as it comes together. On the joint projects, the Eastage FEMA work, no update from FEMA. Our design is pretty close to being done, and this goes into the Eastage maintenance. As we kind of discussed about the operator getting out there and cleaning it out, you know, let's see what it costs them to do it, time and materials. Going forward, I think that would be a lot more reliable source than trying to get a mowing contractor or a whole nother party in here to do it on a regular basis. For the wastewater treatment plant, the construction is still going. They've poured all the duct banks. They were starting to tear out the old building. Did they remove the building actually?
Not yet.
Okay, they were given the operator time to clean it out, anything they needed, and we're gonna start that process. We did receive pay application number 2 in the amount of $86,625 that we recommended payment. Holly Springs drainage issue, we're still waiting on that turf establishment. I checked today. Not there. We have retainage for them, so I'm not worried about paying them the pay application you guys just signed. District projects, the sanitary sewer rehab, that's where they found that 4-inch line in between the 2 manholes. We found some other surprises as well, but they're all getting taken care of. Water plant number 2 electrical upgrades. They've got the new MCC installed, and they're just working on terminating all the wires. You'll probably see that project wrap up by the end of October. One thing we did note in River Plantation's fund, the ground storage tank does not have a drain valve on it. You cannot drain that tank. That me and Mario had discovered. Mario, you could. There was a 2-inch line that you can drain 500,000 gallons out
Yeah,
of.
it'd probably take a month.
Which may take a little while. So their guys are kind of looking into how are we going to do this in the future. You know, with the plant running, you can essentially turn off the well, run it down to a certain period, which will be probably the first process. But because it's welded still, we'll probably have to do a job where we cut a hole in it, install an actual drain on it, so that the tank can be taken down, maintenance done on a regular basis.
You have to drain it to install the drain, right?
And that's where, once the plant's back online, we'll be able to actually drain it down to a certain point, and at least there's not as much water in it that we're bleeding out of the 2-inch line. Right now, there's, 400,000 gallons sitting in it. It's not, there's not much we can do other than having the golfers mad at us that hole's wet, so.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit of water.
So we'll be able to do that once we get that pump replaced?
Well, that pump's already replaced.
Okay.
Yeah, once the motor control center's back in and everything's back powered up, we'll be able to send the water out to the system so you won't waste it, and then we'll be able to.
And this is on 2?
This is on 2, correct?
Yes.
Now that you say that, I need to inspect 3 a little closer to make sure that it has one.
Yeah.
But we do have a project in the next bond application for recoding, so at the same time, we would probably have to do that valve anyway, so.
Number 3 does have
Number 3 does have
Yes.
one?
Don't make yourself a liar.
one. I'm checking right now.
Yeah, exactly. They spoke too soon.
It's a bolted GST, not a double wall.
Double wall, yeah.
100 feet tall one.
We have pay application number 7 in the amount of $273.25 that we recommend payment. Plantation Village, we're still waiting on the precinct. We sent several reminders to them, so that's just kind of sitting there. The contractor's good. They're not in any hurry to start it, so they're holding that price. Stonewall Jackson, the contractor, did submit pay application number 1 and final for the sinkhole repairs. That payment came in at $19,600 for all of those projects. There were several additional ones they did on Stonewall Jackson. They're going to do a final grading and a dye test, so since we've gotten some rains over the time, I think all the settling is finally gone. Hopefully we filled those voids. But they're great contractors. We use them all the time, so if something happens, we can kind of fill it in, or Mario's guys can fill it in like we've done in the past. FEMA Public Assistance, I've got a call with them next week. I actually had a call with them last 2 Fridays ago, and the FEMA guy didn't show up, so. But I'm sure those guys are getting swamped right now. I think what I heard on the news was like they had like 9% of their staff ready to deploy, and the normal number is like 30%, so who knows what's going on at the federal government level. Bond application number 10, for that 8.5 million, we are preparing the bond application report. Hope to have the first draft to the FA and attorney by the end of this month. So we're trying to move as fast as possible on that one, so that we're ready to sell first of the year, if not the end of this year, depending on the TCQ. Nothing new on the 10-year CIP for the River Plantation Drive Center sinkholes. We kind of put all the other sinkholes in with it, and we're waiting on bids. My team didn't realize the meeting got moved up, so the bid date was after the meeting. We'll have those bids for the November meeting. And then the Fairway Lake Storm Sewer, I haven't heard anything from the resident. We're still trying to figure out what to do with it on a Band-Aid protocol, essentially. We've talked about filling in the swell altogether, but I don't think that works because of some of the golf course drains to it. Just playing with a bunch of different ideas.
Okay. Did you, that one I sent you the other day, did you, let's not say too much about it.
I
but
have not addressed it with the resident. I'm going to reach
Do you
out to them.
think it's ours?
It's not ours.
Okay.
That one, so just for y'all's information, the protocol we've taken as y'all's engineer, essentially, is if there's continuous runs of storm sewer and things like that, I kind of put that in y'all's basket. Whenever it serves the purpose of one person, it looks like they wanted more of their yard, and so they filled in the roadside ditch. We've pushed that off to the resident, because ultimately y'all's district was designed to be open cut ditches on the side. So anybody who's taken, responsibility for filling your yard, and I'm sorry for people who come later down the road and don't know this, but you can't go around fixing every culvert,
Right.
And especially driveway culverts, which actually they may be able to work with the county and something like that, but the county actually is supposed to.
I thought driveway culverts were a homeowner's problem.
They do fall
Yeah.
under that category. They may,
Yeah.
as a good.
I just didn't know, because I thought I saw where a drain goes to the ditch.
Correct, it does, but if
But
you-
it's not our drain.
But if you look at it, it's the bar ditch going along the side, it goes underneath the driveway, and then somebody filled in their yard and extended the culvert out. There's nothing
Got it.
else that drains into it. So,
Okay.
Essentially, the sides under their driveway where the failure is, they could remove all that and it would still operate as it was intended to. If they were to have a failure in their yard right there, we would not address it either.
Okay.
Essentially, they could rip out that for cheaper than they could probably replace it.
Right.
Better solution, so.
Okay.
Anyways, that's
Okay.
kind of the process we've done. It's been a little difficult. Obviously, the storm sewer's been pretty piecemealed out here over the years. But essentially, if it's only serving one particular resident, it looks like their yard, and it's part of within the right of way and part of the bar ditch, we've said no.
Okay.
So,
I have a question about the sprinkler system.
Sure.
Is it working?
Yes.
Is it on?
They were working on the electrical because of the storm systems. I need to check in with them. They were running it by hand, on a regular basis. If that's not the truth, please let me know and
I
I'll
have
make sure.
never seen it.
I haven't ever seen it on, and after Alpha cut the grass the other day,
Mhm.
they cut it a little lower than All Seasons
Gotcha.
did, and it looks really, really dry.
Okay, I will make sure it's on by the end of this week.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
absolutely.
you.
You need to ask Alpha to raise it up a little bit, it'll look
Yeah.
better.
Maybe so.
Okay. All right. That it?
Yes, that's all I have on my
Okay.
list.
Motion to accept the engineer's report?
Make a motion, we accept the engineer's report as listed.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, do we have anything for executive session?
Not here.
Okay,
Not here either.
okay, cool. Last thing,
At some point, I just wanted to mention this idea we were kicking around about maybe having a different meeting for this
okay.
professor, if you'd like for me to present it now.
Yeah, yeah. Can we tie it into the, yes, because we talked about, FEMA having their meeting here. The FEMA meeting, by the way, is not gonna be here for the buyouts. because they thought they were gonna have too big of a audience for this, so they've decided to move it. So I'm gonna tie this in with this. Mark has a suggestion, recommendation, whatever, so.
Yeah, I'm a colleague with a professor at Sam Houston that his research is on flood mitigation, 100-year flood plan and so forth, and really developing a better model than what's out there. And he is willing to come and talk with us. And of course, the community could benefit because we record it. He also does like a flood one-on-one kind of talk that he does to the general public. But there might be an opportunity to learn more from him and collaborate, maybe something we can do, from our perspective as a water district, our utility district. And just thought it might be a good thing. He is willing to come next month, but if we decide to have a separate meeting, I'll just have to check with him on the schedule, but that's what I'd like to propose.
Well, we could, and that was my thought, was we have a separate meeting so that if the public wanted to come or something, or if we don't need our consultants here or whatever, we just have a separate meeting about it and publicize it. Okay. Do you guys think that it would benefit us?
Yeah.
They did,
Can't hurt us.
did you see the 2 houses they took down on Brandon?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
they took
I
down 2
heard
houses
about
in
them
a
because
bio.
they called to terminate service.
Okay.
So they called to
Okay.
terminate service, and they wanted to know if there was any other type of inspections that I needed to do.
Okay,
And I asked them to just send me a picture of the cap sewer line,
okay,
and our guys will go and pull the meter when it was done.
cool,
So,
okay, yeah.
and I guess they started that process.
Yeah, the houses are down, the slabs are gone,
Yeah.
so,
So,
yeah,
it's the beginning.
yeah, so, okay.
Good.
Mark, I'll add, I know Taylor's there. He we've obviously done some work to analyze the drainage in the community, and that may be of value. I would imagine that any residents that show up might have some district-specific questions as well, so.
Yeah, we've done some district-wide surface modeling, so we have a really good idea as to the normal drainage patterns using LiDAR, where we feel areas are being inundated and things like that. Ultimately, the expansion and hope, and I'd love to talk with this guy, maybe on a personal level as well, is to look at some sort of process where we can do some pocket mitigation, utilizing some of these lots that are either being bought up by FEMA with some sort of agreement with them, or some of the places that the district actually already owns. Just anything to kind of get dirt out of here that water can go.
Right,
in the
right.
meantime, because at that point, if you're saving 4 or 5 houses, it's worthwhile.
Well, I was even wondering at times, like we have this one retention pond, right, very small. I've often wondered, should we consider creating additional retention ponds?
Well, that's kind of what we were,
Yeah,
And- But I mean, in view, in the
Yeah,
park, right,
yeah.
not where somebody's
It's-
home used to be.
yeah.
Right.
Do we really have a retention pond?
We do not, it's
No.
not,
It's-
it's more of a pass-through pond,
Yeah.
the way the weir said, it doesn't withhold anything. In the past, we have discussed, potentially utilizing some of the parks and things like that. I mean, at a decent cost, it would have to be some sort of cost-sharing program. Obviously, it would have to be a big community outreach, because I think everybody really prides the parks.
Mhm.
Essentially, you're not removing the parks, this is one thing that people have to get kind of over the hurdle. We have a ton of districts that we operate where the detention pond is the park.
Right,
Right,
I
you know,
mean,
it's
you
a-
could still have the fountain and everything, you can make it an attraction. and
Sure,
stuff,
sure.
And yet still be functional as a retention.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the goal, and I don't mean to speak on behalf of the district, but our goal has kind of been damage control and
Yeah.
getting our heads above water, but those are all exploratory ideas that we've definitely talked of and are kind of on the back burner,
Yeah.
for the future.
And doing a retention, adding like a retention pond, that would only help with runoff, not with actual flooding.
No, it would actually help with flood. So, essentially, what happens with y'all's district is y'all are what we would call like a first flush district, meaning that you don't have detention, one, because of the age, but two, because of your proximity to the main channel. Essentially, if you were to hold on to water, then everybody else's water would catch up to you, and you would flood worse. And so you want your initial flush to get out as fast as possible, get downriver, so that when more people come down and the river starts backing up, there's less to back up. So on a detention basis, Yours would be used for when water starts to back up. So that's how the channel acts. That channel takes in flow and has kind of, you know, traps the water. Once it spills out into different areas, it's gonna trap that water back down. And essentially, all the water has to go somewhere, and it's gonna seek equal ground. And it doesn't matter where that pond is if it's within that floodplain zone, it will act as mitigation for other properties. And now,
But to be,
It's a
be
huge
it,
area though, isn't it?
I was gonna say, to be along that ditch, it would have to be on the golf course.
no, it doesn't have to be along the
Okay.
beach, because Mosswood connects the storm sewer.
Well, that's true.
To the pond you guys have
That's
now.
true.
So anywhere you connect to a storm sewer, it will back up through the storm sewer first, and you gotta think water's coming up from the, you know, below the ground, wherever it can travel up. And so anywhere it can seek an equalization that's below the actual dry ground, it's gonna do first. So if you've got, well, we'll say 40,000 cubic yards of dirt you take out, that's 40,000 cubic yards of water you can put into it. What does that lower the overall surface water? That's where you can get into the discussion, is it 1 inch or is it 1 foot? I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
It just doesn't seem like it'd be much. If the river is at 25 feet, water's gonna be at 25 feet, doesn't matter whether we have a ditch or not, right?
Well,
Or, I mean, a pond or not.
the purpose would be to say, how far is that water actually extending up, right? If it's at 25 feet, you're right, it's gonna seek equalization. But as it seeks equalization, it's gonna take more and more water in as it goes up and up. So if the water seeks a 25-foot level, and right next to the river, you have a 10-foot deep hole, that water spills over the bank and then it goes in the 10-foot deep hole. It has to go all the way back up to the 25 feet, seek the 25 foot and keep moving. So it's how wide of a footprint does it truly make? Again, this is all very, very advanced modeling as to what you would actually lower the water surface elevation, but you have, I mean, in a long-term thinking process, you have 70 acres to work with. If you really thought, you know, the modeling made sense for you to say, we were gonna lower the surface water a foot, you know, that's quite a few houses you're saving at that point. At what cost is the question. So,
Why don't you coordinate between your guy and Taylor and figure out, work on dates and
Okay.
figure out.
And
for us.
pitch it to y'all.
Yeah.
You wanna try to do it next month though?
Yeah, I'm good
I
with
mean,
that.
in addition to our regular schedule
Yeah.
meeting?
I don't wanna get too far, cause then we'll be on the holidays.
Right, no.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I'll be gone anyway.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
All right.
You got my contacts and everything?
I don't know if I do or not, Taylor. Let's, after the meeting,
Yeah.
let's get it.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, pending business, update on the gutter repairs and the roof repairs and.
Yeah, I had a guy come out this week from Texas Sheet Metal. Okay, we've had a few people come out and, look at the roof, and look at the window here, and look at the ceiling. And the consensus of opinion is that the leak that we have is caused by the gutters being too full of leaves and pine needles. The gutter is overflowing backwards against the wall, and it's coming against the wall through the roof and doing that damage there. One of the roofers also thought that the damage we're seeing at the bottom of the window isn't at all from the gutter, it's actually from the window itself, that it needs to be resealed. He thinks that it's perhaps not sealed properly at the bottom. And because it's a 40-year-old building, the caulk that's in there could certainly have already dried up, cracked, whatever. So, that being said, I had one bid from a company that wants to replace all the gutters, and it was roughly $5,200. They would replace the gutters and coat the roof with a sealant to protect the existing bolts and connectors up on the roof. So we got that bid, and I haven't heard back from him since then.
And that was the one we approved, right, last
I was
month?
gonna say, I
No.
thought we approved
No,
that.
that was a different one.
That was a different one.
Okay.
Because the second one was from a local roofing company, Shamrock Roofing. And he was gonna clean out the gutters and spot treat the bolts up there that needed to be spot treated for rust. And, we accepted that bid. And,
Was it 7,200? It was something like
52, I'm sorry, it was 5,200
Okay.
for, from Shamrock. And, part of the issue we had with them is they couldn't get over the fact that we didn't wanna pay half down for the project, which is what they required for their work. So, we voted and accepted to do that project. That being said, we didn't agree to pay half up front. We agreed to pay for whatever supplies they had on the job site. So, we haven't done anything with Shamrock. It's strictly on hold. In the meantime, I got some other people to come out and give me a quote. Texan Sheet Metal came out this week, and he got up there and he thinks that the bolts are not that bad. There is a little bit of rust, but it's not causing a hole in the roof at all. And he gave me a price to clean out the gutters. He would blow off all the roof, get all the stuff off the roof, hand clean all the gutters, and check the downspouts for obstructions, and do the whole project for $850. And his second option was to replace all the gutters and downspouts and blow off the roof. And for that, it was $4,125.
To do what now?
Replacement though, right?
What was that for?
To replace
The
the gutters,
Okay.
$4,125.
On the entire building?
Yes,
Yeah.
both sides of the
But it's
building.
only on two sides.
Yeah,
It's
there's
not
only on
all
two
four.
sides. It's on the left side and the right side is all. So his bid came in substantially less than the first guy, which was, now that memory serves me right, was $8,000 to replace. And he wanted to use frost-proof guttering and things like that we don't really need. But anyway, so we have two options from this guy: $850 to clean what we got, or $4,125 to replace what we got and clean off the roof.
Okay, now I'm gonna throw something else in here.
Throw it.
When I was at the fire department meeting the other night, at their board meeting, they were showing pictures of the thing, and this, I'm gonna ask Mario about this. Out there in that bay, that skylight that they got, they're saying that it looks like it's past its prime.
It's brittle, it looks brittle.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So, do we need to look at maybe replacing that panel? Can you replace just that one section?
They could,
Yes.
they could just put another sheet panel on top of that and just get rid of it, you know,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
not
One of the-
necessary.
Actually, Shamrock talked about that to me. He didn't put it on paper, but he said, you know, your panels up there are cracking,
Yeah. Okay.
brittle.
What's the name of this company that you got a new quote on?
Texan Sheet Metal, and they're on Hollister off of 290.
Oh, well, they might be able to just do that panel too. Yeah.
But they're not going to fix the bolts.
That's what I was gonna ask.
To replace, he has a second line item on here, to replace all the fasteners in the roof with oversized fasteners, $2,800. So the total for that would be roughly $7,000. And we'd essentially have a cleaned off roof, new gutters, and new bolts.
Which should take care of just about
That-
everything except that skylight panel
That's right, and that would last for a long time.
And the window.
in the window, yeah.
The window, we're gonna have to get another
Somebody
contractor.
else to do that, yeah.
There ought to be a way to test the window. Somebody ought to be
Get a hose.
Get a hose and
Yeah.
spray it, yeah, spray it on there.
Just like they do.
Actually, we
Can
could
you
just
do that?
get some of that Flex Seal and s-
Yeah, hey, what an idea.
I'll buy it tomorrow.
There you go. We can try that for the next rain, there you go, so.
So
Okay.
that's the proposal we have right now. Actually, the rep that we had from Shamrock Roofing is no longer with Shamrock Roofing.
um,
He called me and told me he left the company because he was not happy with some of the
Practices.
practices,
some of the work they did.
I guess you could say. So he's starting his own company, but he didn't provide me with a quote of any
Okay.
kind yet, because he doesn't have insurance.
Okay,
So-
well, yeah. So do we wanna accept this bid?
Yes, I would take that one.
Okay.
For the whole thing?
Yes.
Yes, and I would suggest we also approve replacing that skylight with a panel, with a,
Now, will he do this without having half down and all that stuff?
It doesn't say anything on this contract about that. I would assume, well, it does say, what does it say?
I'll say, I would think most of
It
them are
doesn't,
materials.
payment terms due immediately upon completion. So,
Right, you gotta check.
you gotta check, so we can do that.
Got a motion to accept it?
10%.
What do we
What's
accept?
the name of that company again?
Texas
Sheet
sheet
metal.
metal.
Are you talking about the $7,000?
Talking about
Yes.
replacing the gutters.
Replacing the bolts.
Replacing the bolts.
Not the
So that's roughly
Huh?
Not replacing the
$7,000,
gutters, cleaning the gutters.
correct?
Oh, I thought it was
Well,
replacing the gutters.
the 4125 is replacing the gutter.
4125 is replacing the gutters, so we have brand new gutters. And then 2800 is to replace every
The
bolt
bolts.
up on the roof.
I thought we didn't need to replace the gutters. They need to be cleaned. Aren't they the company? that
Are they
said-
bigger gutters?
They are probably gonna be the same, he's a sheet metal company, so he would, I'm gonna assume they're the same size. But we can definitely
Okay.
verify that.
But we don't need to replace something that doesn't need to be replaced.
But have you had 3 companies that told you you needed them replaced?
There's some damage to the gutters that, you know, obviously they're leaking. If we don't clean out the gutters on a regular basis, we're gonna continue to have this. He specifically told me the gutters that he would put up are taller on the back side and shorter on the front side towards the outside of the building. So that if the water got full, it's not gonna overflow and go into the building.
And our current ones are different, they're level
That's
on both
right,
sides.
they're level.
So there is an improvement.
They were level
Yeah.
and then they
Cut
went in
'em.
and cut in some notches to
Yes.
relieve, but
That's
that's
it,
a good
that's what-
design.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
Yeah,
Tim's
right,
saying
right,
there,
right.
so,
yeah.
The backstop is higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Can
So-
went and cut
Can they
notches
put
out.
leaf protectors or whatever they call those things?
They won't work.
Yeah,
They don't
I was
not
gonna say,
work.
now the pine
You still gotta
needles and
blow them
that.
off.
Yeah,
They just block
They
everything.
won't work. We have
Yeah.
too many pine trees.
we just
around.
need to put him on a schedule where he comes out once every 6 months or something and blows them out for $800,
I agree.
so.
Okay, well, let's,
Cause I don't think Mario wants to climb up there.
Yeah, I don't want to, but I
He
have
just
guys
told
who
me.
will.
He just told me
So-
he'd do it for 400, so I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you know.
I'll see you up on that roof. I'll see you up on
Go
that
ahead.
roof.
Mario Enterprise right here, I'm just
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
He's got insurance.
I do.
So I guess option 1 is to just
I do.
clean out the gutters. What do we think about that?
No,
No.
I wanna, yeah,
Okay, option 2 is to replace the gutters, and the downspouts, and that's $4,100, just that project.
Yeah.
And then option 3 is to do the gutters and the fasteners, the bolts up on the roof, and that comes out to $69.25.
so you can do that or have a bench with a
Piecemeal.
cover.
well, we're just gonna end up piecemealing it, cause if we come back and we find out it's not that, then we gotta have him come back out, it's gonna be more to.
Yeah, we Band-Aided, well, this
Exactly.
mud has
I
a
thought we
history
were
of
gonna
Band-Aiding.
Band-Aid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd say we just fix it.
that's what I'm saying, and see if he can replace that one panel, I know it's gonna be more than the 6,900, but replace that one panel where that skylight is there only one skylight out there?
There's one on each side.
There's one on each side?
Yeah.
okay,
Okay, so see
I'll
if
ask
you can
him about
replace
that.
those 2 panels
okay.
where the skylight is. They put in some really nice lights out there, so they don't need the skylights,
Yeah, no.
yeah.
Right, I mean, that's an option also, maybe we just
Sheet,
sheet metal over the skylight,
yeah,
cause if they got good lighting out there, they
yeah,
don't
they
need the
got some, they
skylight.
put some real, plus they're gonna have the 2 bay doors instead of one.
Okay,
so.
All
which
right,
they may
so
already have.
do we have a motion for one of the options?
I'd say option 3, and make a motion, we do the whole thing and fix it.
Yeah, and include the panels to cover up the skylights, or replace the skylights, whichever. Alright, I second it with that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Okay,
alright,
I'll let him know.
okay, cool. Anything else? Oh, I gotta know when the next meeting is. Okay, nothing else. Our next meeting, you got anything else, Brian?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Our next meeting is November 7th at 6:30 PM. And that will be our November meeting. And just to let everybody know, our December meeting will be December 19th at 6:30 PM because of the holidays.
Sounds good to me.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn the meeting and pending the next meeting.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in